Hi and welcome on to the All Guns Blazing podcast with DT in the building. How you doing, bruv?
You're right.
Good? Huh?
You look a little bit
What?
stiff.
Listen, sorry, this guy, this is what I don't like about you, yeah? Because when you're ill, I've got sympathy with you. I've been suffering from a bit of a bad back.
Really? I never knew.
Well, I ain't been going on about it that much.
Every single video. Hi and welcome along. Now, as you can tell, I've got towel driving today because I'm still suffering with this back.
That's one video, and then there was another video I was doing the other day where I actually had to sit down in the middle of it because it was killing me so much, right? But you know what that shows? I'm a soldier, bruv.
Yeah?
You see that, yeah? I'm
Really?
a soldier. Even now, I'm in pain.
Okay.
And I'm still here. And if I hadn't brought it up, nobody wouldn't even know.
Well done.
That's a soldier, yeah?
As troops would
I was
say.
at the game. I was at the game on Thursday night.
Yeah.
Right? Trust me, man.
In a
when
box?
I've got excruciating pain.
In a box.
Earlier on I was, right? Somebody very kindly said, yeah, I heard about your back thing, come in the box. That was the advantage of it, right? But afterwards, I stood up, did the interviews, hour and a half, right? Excruciating pain in my leg.
Did you have a
Shooting
pillow?
pain, right?
Did you
in
have
my
a
leg.
pillow in the box?
Did it? You would never know.
Did you have a pillow?
Soldier, right? Man United.
Ask my question. Did
Man
you have
United,
a pillow
right?
in the box?
Man United.
Blanket.
Hold on. Excruciating pain. Rain pouring down 24/7. There. Did it. No, that's, I mean, that's me.
We want a blue
That's
beer
the
badge.
difference, right? That's the difference. That's what, you know what I mean? That's what makes the best the best. Yeah? All right. We don't let these things hold us back, man.
Here he goes. What
Listen,
did I say?
before we get stuck into Arsenal, a lot to talk about this week, right? AAA, they got another one, right? Every week they got one, right? They like putting stuff to us. Let's face it, they love.
What's the
putting
question
these
this week?
Right,
Best way to deal with back pain.
I'm gonna punch this guy in a minute. Now.
You got to catch me first.
Right, watch this video.
The FA Cup, and should the winners guarantee a Champions League spot?
No.
No, straight out of the pan. Okay.
Simple as that, I think. The FA Cup is a glorious competition. To see your team lift silverware at Wembley is an unparalleled feeling.
One thing that I'd be worried about with that is it could have the opposite effect of what you actually intend it to do. So the theory is that if you give a Champions League place to the FA Cup winners, that you would then get someone like a Wigan in the
But they're
Champions League. But then what I
champions,
think would happen, then you would just get the bigger boys, right? They just take the FA Cup incredibly seriously.
But we do
you would
anyway.
you would actually see then less giant killing in the FA Cup, which is the whole thing that makes the FA Cup fantastic.
Right, so what do you reckon? Should there be a Champions League place if you won the FA Cup?
Nope.
No? Why not?
The FA Cup is the FA Cup, and you know this whole you should be rewarded for winning it. You're rewarded by winning it.
Used to be the biggest cup.
It
I
still
remember when
is.
I was a kid.
It still is the biggest cup competition.
When I was a kid, winning the FA Cup was like on the same sort of level as a league.
I know the FA Cup was huge. I remember growing up, and FA Cup final day used to start at about 9 a.m.
That was more or less the only live game.
That
they'd have the whole build up. And
they used to have everything.
yeah,
They
you
even
see
used
the
to have-
players getting their suits, and it was huge.
They used to go through the FA Cup final songs.
Yeah.
They would have cameras following each coach from their hotels to the stadium, going to Wembley Way.
I miss it. I miss when it was like that. It was
huge
brilliant.
day. Even listen, back in the day, even for us older heads, the League Cup was a big thing. You remember '87 when we played Liverpool, and we won it. That was huge.
Yeah.
So it's
these
just
cups
kind
have
of-
really been. It's the Champions
But
League's killed them all, innit?
It doesn't deserve a place from the Champions League. I get the argument that you could get a Wigan in there, but there was only that one time when we've really seen a bit of an upset in recent years, and they beat Man City in that final. But we've won it a lot lately. Manchester United, Man City.
Yeah.
So a lot of the big clubs are there.
Yeah, I got to say I agree with you. I don't think you should get a place in there. You know what I heard? Actually, I heard this. What about, check out this one. And by the way, on that, the link is in the description. Watch the whole video and make sure you go and comment on that. Give your opinion on it as well. Do you think that there should be a place? Because you might disagree with what me and DT are saying. I agree with him for once. You shouldn't get a place. But, you know what? I heard a guy. What about this one? I heard a guy on the radio the other day, and I thought this was a brilliant point he made. The League Cup. Mm-hmm. So, you know, like all these teams rest. They're always resting players.
Yeah.
Even the teams now lower down are resting players. Right? and they were talking about how he's killing the League Cup, how do you improve it and stuff like that. And this guy made this point, right? Let me see if I remember it right. And what he said was, what about if you win the League Cup, right? That guarantees you stay in the Premier League. And I was like, that is a good one, man. You know, like you got all these teams, especially like mid-table or teams near the bottom, where they're resting players because they just don't see.
The only argument to that
I thought that was a good one. If you win the League Cup, right? So say you're a Newcastle or something, right?
Yeah.
And you win the League Cup, that means that you don't have to worry about relegation. You're guaranteed to stay up. I think that's a great idea. That one I like.
What I will say about that is that really fair on the team that maybe avoids relegation, but will now be relegated because of a competition that's outside
because
of
you
the
know
Premier
know
League.
in advance, and the beauty of the League Cup is that by February, you know, don't you? You know what the situation is. You know who's won that. So let's just say we look at some teams at the bottom, a Newcastle or a Norwich or one of them. If they won that, you're guaranteed to stay up, right?
But then also,
that would mean that these teams, they wouldn't be playing no weakened teams in it, because it's a great way of them making sure that another way of them staying in the division.
I get what you're saying, but
we get a stronger
the only
competition
issue is
then.
as well is that, like you said, the competition ends in February, so a team could be sitting there for 3 months of the season going, well, we're all right, we're not getting relegated.
True.
We could lose our next 15 games and we ain't getting relegated.
True.
So
that's a good point.
And then also, what happens if a team from outside the Premier League win it?
Then I don't know. Maybe they don't get relegated from their division.
I just
it
think that's a
guarantees
bit
it.
too.
I don't know, because they have got to do something with that
I know
League
what
Cup.
I know what you're saying. They do have to do.
It's getting
something,
ridiculous now. You've got
but-
teams, right? Like some of the teams that I think to myself would be going for it, like a Newcastle or a West Ham the other day, for instance. Yeah, 1-0 for God knows how long. They rest every single one of their players. I just don't. I'm like, it's a chance of a trophy. And, you know, if all these teams are going to keep doing that, the League Cup's going to be, they're going to get rid of it, like what they've done in France recently.
Yeah.
They've got rid of the League Cup. So, but that's for another debate.
It is another debate,
But
and it's an
remember,
interesting
get on
one.
the 888 one. What do you think? Should, you know, with the FA Cup, win that, should you get a place in the Champions League? I don't think so, but let them know what you think. Arsenal, 2 games really to talk about because it's been a busy week. First of all, Man United. It's 2 contrasting performances. You had Man United away, 1-1, and then you had the really good win on Thursday night, 4-0. Could have been more excitement, exciting players, really contrasting games. We're going to start on the Man United game.
Yeah.
I interviewed you after the game, and you were very angry, to say the least. You kind of caught me by surprise, because I thought that you were going to be like, you know, oh, well, we could have went for it more, but you was actually angry.
It's the first time
Emery.
I've really lost my temper this season.
Yeah, and you were angry with Emery because you, in your opinion, he hadn't set the team up to win the game.
No, he didn't. Why are we playing effectively for a draw against Manchester United? They're crap. They are crap.
Now, let me just stop you, right? Even though you're right, watching United, I was like taken aback at how poor they were, right? But they beat Chelsea 4-0. Yeah? These Old Trafford results. I know you're going to point to Palace, yeah?
No, I'm not.
Right?
I'm not.
Where they lost that. But,
I'm not.
right? That's the only game they've lost at home so far this season. But 2 of the big guns have gone to Old Trafford and have been beaten. They beat Chelsea 4-0, right? And they beat Leicester, who a lot of people have been saying they're, you know, big chance of getting in the top 4. They beat them as well. So maybe Emery's looking at it and thinking, all right, I think we can win this, but don't get ahead of ourselves because they have taken 2 massive scalps at home this season.
If you speak to any Manchester United fan, that was the most ridiculous 4-0 result they had against Chelsea.
They
it
still
should never
won
have been,
4-0.
no, but it should never have been 4-0.
But
And at the end of the day,
listen, we can say that in certain games.
No, but what I'm saying is that we've got nothing to be scared of going to Old Trafford. This is not Sir Alex Ferguson. This is not the Fergie era. Not only that, but Manchester United's squad was ripped apart by injuries. It's very clear that Rashford weren't 100% fit. Pogba wasn't 100% fit. They were just put in there to make the numbers.
No, Pogba was fit.
There's no way he was
just
fit.
played crap.
I know he's played crap, but
played rubbish.
I don't.
And Rashford, you know, I don't agree with you on that because both But
No way was he 100%.
Rashford played Thursday night.
No
So
way.
did Pogba.
No, he didn't. Rashford was out. He got injured.
No,
and
didn't Rashford play in the Europa League?
He got injured and he had a muscle injury. And the only one that played in the Europa League game was Pogba. Not Europa League game. Who did they play? Was it the Carabao Cup? Yeah, it was the Carabao Cup against Rochdale.
No,
the only
I'm talking about since that game on Monday. If Rashford was that injured, he played against AZ Alkmaar, didn't he?
I don't know.
Fact check.
I honestly don't even know.
all I
know about that game.
I think Pogba might have been.
The only thing I know about that game.
Talking, I'll check.
The only thing I know about that game against AZ Alka-Seltzer or whatever their name is was that they didn't even have a shot on target. They're a dreadful side, and why are we going to Old Trafford nervous?
Game started.
Thank you. Never started. Fact check.
Rashford comes on at 63 minutes.
See,
All right, so
wasn't
Rashford
100%.
played. Pogba was out, wasn't he? Pogba was out, or was it? Did he?
Yeah, he's out.
Yeah, I know Pogba was out.
So I told you they weren't 100%. I'm telling you, they were not 100%, and they were just put in there. And at the end of the day, right, I look at it, and we should have gone there more expansive. We went too defensive-minded, Robbie.
Yeah.
Far too defensive-minded. The last time we set up with that midfield three was in the first half against Spurs. What happened? We were 2-0 down at one point, and everyone was saying, please change it, please change it. Why are you playing Lucas Torreira in the 10? Right? Without going into the other games, right? You look at Nottingham Forest game, I know it's Nottingham Forest, and then look at the game in the other one, the Europa League against, who the hell was it now? At Emirates that we won 4-0. How can I even forget? Standard Liège. Torreira played at the base of the midfield, where he always plays, or where we signed him from, why we signed him in that position. And he stands out a mile. He just patrols everything, sweeps up, gets stuck in. Why are you playing him in the 10 in the Premier League? What are you trying to do? You trying to prove something to the board? You trying to say to him that, you want to get rid of Ozil and you need a number 10. You didn't buy me this guy. I need this guy. What are you trying to do? I don't understand.
Yeah, I couldn't understand why.
I'm sorry. I come out of Old Trafford, I was fuming because there was a 5 to 10 minute spell after we scored, right, where we opened up in the second half because we had to, because we were 1-0 down. We scored. If it wasn't for a lucky deflection from Saka's shot that just took it over the bar and no one knew what was going on, we'd have been 2-1 up. But then you see Manchester United are on the ropes. They cannot handle our pace and our movement. And all of a sudden, we just went back to the defensive-minded shape that we had from the very beginning. And we sat back in the last 25, 30 minutes like, oh yeah, point to do.
Although we've seen over the years that we've gone to places.
Over the years. This is now, Robbie. This is now.
Hold on. We've seen over the years where we've gone to places, right? We've got that goal and then we've gone gun-ho and end up losing the game.
But we're not gun-ho because, like I told you, for a 5-10 minute spell after that goal, we were dominant. We were all over Man United. They were panicking. You could feel it in the stadium. The stadium had gone quiet. You could hear a pin drop. The fans were nervous. They knew that we were on the front foot. And the likes of Aubameyang, Saka and all that, they would cause problems all day long. But for some reason, we just went straight back into our shells under the what Emery told them to do, revert back. And in that last 20 minutes, we invited them on. And they could have gone and scored a goal. Why are you inviting them on? Why? I come out of there, I was fuming. Monday night, driving all the way up to Manchester. I got in at 4 o'clock in the morning because of the crappy M6.
I know, the weather was terrible.
Do you know what I mean? And I'm sitting there and I'm like, why are you playing so defensive-minded? I know it's Nottingham Forest. I know it's Standard Liège. I know it's where we went to in Germany. What the hell's the matter with my memory today? Frankfurt, who are a decent side, by the way. But in those games, we were playing more confidently, more expansive, more
Is it because of those young, hungry players that were in that midfield? The midfield had legs, didn't it? I mean, I couldn't understand why either Willock or Danny Ceballos in particular were playing from the start in that game.
I don't mind you being a little bit cautious.
It.
I don't mind you having a certain sense of protection there. It's fine. You can have that sense of protection. Play the 4-2-3-1. You got your 2 players sitting at the base in front of the 4. Fine, no problem. But when you've got players like we have in attack, you're nullifying them. The reason why Nicolas Pepe is being questioned right now is because of Unai Emery.
Why?
Because they're not playing to his strengths. I watched him so closely at Old Trafford, and what Pepe was having to do was drop to the halfway line, facing an own goal to receive the ball, because he wasn't getting it any other way. If anyone's watched Pepe, and whether you watched him last season or whether you've just watched the compilation videos, the guy thrives on the ball put in front of him where he can run at players, where he can do his trickery and use his pace. He doesn't play facing his own goal. So what's happening is that you're taking away his game. It's now affecting his confidence. He now looks nervous. He now looks like he wants to be so precise. I looked at even when he came on against Standard Liège, there was one where he nearly scored, and the defender kind of blocked it just in front of the goalkeeper. But did you notice how
he was placing
precise
it was? He didn't just put his foot through it.
No, it was kind of like a nervousness about, like, let's just please get it on target. And that is because of the way we're playing. We're not playing to the way that Pepe likes to play. And the reason why is because you've got 3 defensive-minded midfielders that are playing behind them. Where's the creativity? Where's the outlet to give these guys what they want? Aubameyang rescues a point, but overall, what did he have to feed on in that game? Now,
there's no Ozil at the moment. We know that he's a player that can provide.
Don't get me started, man.
He can provide a lot. He's been bombed out of the team, isn't he?
Yeah,
basically, because
his time's
saw
done.
Standard Liège, he didn't play. He weren't even in the squad. And when Unai Emery was asked about it, he said that he feels there's players ahead of him right now. To not even be in the squad for a Europa League game, that's goodbye, isn't it?
It is goodbye. And look, it's the beginning of the end, and I love Mesut Ozil, and I think he's one of the best in his generation at what he could do. And, you know, whether you agree that he did some of them things at Arsenal or not, and whether it was Real Madrid, you can't doubt the guy's ability and his statistics.
Does he deserve to be in the team at the moment, though?
He deserves to be given a chance. Because the problem is...
No, does he deserve to be in the team at the moment?
In the squad, yes. He does, because you've got a player like that who could... Right, statistically, he's still created the 4th most chances for us this year in 142 minutes of football. So he can still create things. So why are you not having that in reserve?
Yeah, but what about everything else? It's the other stuff that he doesn't do, that the managers since last season has not been happy with, and now the manager's like having his saying, right, yeah, you know what? You ain't doing it, you ain't playing.
But what you've got to realise is, right, Mesut Ozil still covers more than 10k a game. Average midfielder statistics for a central midfield area. He has been working. Yes, there's times when he winds me up and he doesn't do
covering 10k, run around the pitch 10 times, right?
No way.
I'm talking about.
No way.
I'm talking about when we ain't got the ball, right? Which is the way we've been playing recently. Is quite a lot of times.
Yeah.
When we ain't got the ball, does he do enough away from home? Mesut Ozil. But what's he done over the years at Old Trafford?
What I'm saying is,
what's he done over the years at Old Trafford?
Listen, look, let's not stop. Let's stop. Keep getting dragged into the past and stuff like that. Because what I'm trying to say to you is this is not just about Manchester United. It's overall. All right. We were told with the game in Germany that he's being rested, and then I made a joke and said, "What's he being rested for? Fortnight." But honestly, what's he being rested for?
For a fortnight.
No, but what is he being rested for? So there's no transparency. Emery's not being...
But he came out, they asked him after the game of Standard Liège, they said, how comes Ozil weren't in the squad? And he said, there's players ahead of him.
I'm sorry,
that's all young players,
I'm
kids.
Sorry,
you know
no,
what I mean?
I'm
He's
sorry.
Not even in the squad.
He should be in the squad because he's cutting off his nose to spite his face.
But then even the other day when he played, Mesut Ozil, he wasn't terrible, but he wasn't the greatest. And then his body language when he was substituted, it was very poor.
I had a go
the way
about
he just came. So he's not, you know, you got to look at the manager, and his manager saying to himself, you know what, I've had a lot of patience with this guy. And I'm sorry, you haven't delivered. And there was a few fans that we interviewed on Thursday that were like, you know, your days are done, man. Who cares? Like, you know, Kenny Ken's always very vociferous against Mesut Ozil. He goes, this is Arsenal. It's not the Mesut Ozil, you know, all the Mesut Ozil lovers. This is about Arsenal now. This is about playing players on merit, not playing players on reputation. But then I do see your point in the creativity. He creates chances, but is it a luxury that we can afford to have in games?
Well, at the end of the day, you talk about is it a luxury we can afford to have, but can we afford to pay him 350 grand a week to sit at home? Why are you not using him? If you want to get him out in January, cool, fine. Get rid of him in January. Do what you've got to do. But use him in the meantime. It's not like he's washed up, completely finished, has been, won't contribute. He would have been ideal for the last 15 minutes at Old Trafford. Because he's a player that would have been able to hold the ball up and been able to pick the spaces in the wide channels.
Yeah, but would he work hard though if we ain't got the ball like in the last 15 minutes of that
Yeah,
game?
but you say, you say that, but I've seen him work hard.
In the last 15 minutes of the game when we ain't got the ball, right? Who would you rather on that pitch? Would you rather someone? I think Ceballos came on, didn't he?
Yeah, but what I'm...
So would you rather a Ceballos, right? Or would you rather a Willock? These guys are going to work this
totally
socks off,
different
get
players.
back.
No,
But I'm saying,
I'm
last
saying,
15 minutes of a game, we might not have the ball
yeah,
a
but
lot.
what I'm saying to you, you're saying not have the ball. The idea of bringing Mesut Ozil on is for us to then have the ball because he's the player that dictates it and controls it.
I get that, but what about when we don't have it? That's the problem.
Well, then if he doesn't work, yeah, but what I'm saying is if he doesn't work, then he's going to be exposed. He will be for all to see to say, well, you came on 15 minutes, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. Or he comes on, creates something, does something, and then you're going, why is he not starting? So it works either way. But what I'm saying is to completely leave him out of the squad is wrong. I'm sorry, it's wrong.
And we don't know what's going on in training. Maybe he's not training well. Maybe he's not putting the effort in training that the manager's saying, yeah, you're not putting that effort in. Because certainly his body language when he came off in that game, and we see that before in the final.
Yeah, I've seen it.
We saw that in the final.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, yo, bruv, get off the pitch, man.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I honestly think that Emery's been so badly stung by Ben Arfa, by Neymar, all these big names, that he's came in and he said, you know what, I don't care who you are now, I'm not being treated like that anymore.
But isn't that a good thing?
It can be a good thing.
If you're the manager...
It can be a good thing.
You're the manager, you're in charge, right? This is what I want. I want this and this and this from my players. And if you think you're bigger than me and you're bigger than the club, you ain't playing.
But the problem is...
What's wrong with that? We wanted that for years.
But the problem is, Robbie...
Because you know what? The one thing is, right, under Arsene Wenger, Ozil knew he's guaranteed. Guaranteed, man, no matter what he's playing.
But the issue,
under this guy, he's like, yo...
The issue is very simple. If we're playing good football at the moment, if we're whipping teams, we're doing X, Y, and Z, cool, you're justified. But when we're playing so crap and we're lacking so much creativity, it asks the question.
Maybe Danny Ceballos could be the guy to provide that. Maybe he's looking at maybe Willock might be the guy to provide that.
But then he's not even starting him.
Yeah, well, I agree. He should have at least started. But I can understand.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I can understand where he's looking and he's saying to himself, you know what? Sometimes when we don't have the ball, this guy don't do enough. And we've seen it over the years. Every single fan knows it. Every one of us knows it. We know that on the ball he's brilliant, but we know that without the ball, it's like you've got 10 players on the pitch.
Yeah, I can get what you're saying.
And the manager is like, I want 11 players at all times on the pitch, especially away from home.
I just believe that he should be on the bench at least. He should be in the squad. To completely cut him out, I feel he's cutting off his nose to spite his face. And that's my opinion. I don't even want to get into it no more.
You think they'll get rid of him in January?
Yeah, I do. I think... Or it's going to turn ugly. It's
ugly in which way?
In way that, you know, because Mesut Ozil and his agent have already said before the season started that he's happy, not moving. He's just got married. They're settled.
Is that because of the money they're getting?
Maybe. Not just, that's maybe a contributing factor.
Because how can you be happy?
But also...
How can you be happy you're not playing?
Because...
As a player of Mesut Ozil's stature.
He's happy in London, although maybe recent events might have made him a little unhappy because of the robbery and stuff like that. So maybe...
They caught 2 people for that, by the way.
Yeah, I know, and they've actually been done. But in that respect, maybe his wife and that maybe don't feel a bit safe in London now. Maybe they do want to move. So maybe things have changed in that respect. But,
and then there's, and it's not exactly, as we've seen already, there's not exactly a long queue of teams queuing up to take him.
The other problem is that if Arsenal want to get rid of him in January and Mesut Ozil doesn't want to leave, you physically can't force him out the door.
No.
Especially if no one's coming in and offering any money.
But then, having said that, should the fact that he's on 350 grand a week mean that he has to play?
No, it doesn't mean that.
Well, then
I'm not saying that.
So why are you
But
having
I'm
a go at
saying-
Emery then?
No, I'm having a go because he's not even in the squad. And it's not like we're playing amazing. It's not like everyone in the starting 11 and on the bench is proving themselves.
But he ain't playing amazing either.
He hasn't given a chance. He's been played against Nottingham Forest. And then he done a bit against Watford. That's it. That's what I'm trying to say. So why are you turning around in one breath and going, oh, he's being rested while we're in Germany because he's rested. He's being rested. Right? That's an ideal place. Go back home to Germany. Go and,
Didn't need him, did we?
No,
Did all right without him.
No, yeah, but look, it was...
Did all right without him.
Yeah, how the hell they still didn't score that day, I don't know. But
Did
we
all
still
right
won.
without
but
him.
Fine. But what
Did
I'm saying
great
is...
without him.
What I'm saying is that, games like Standard Liège and stuff as well, they're the perfect
Did
games.
all right without him in that one as well.
Yes, but I'm saying in the squad.
Exciting
In
young
the
players,
squad.
but-
In the squad, Robbie. In the
Why?
squad.
Why? If he's not performing, why?
Because
you don't deserve...
No, because you're saying not performing, but he's not being given a chance to perform. What I'm saying is to completely cut him out.
Over the years, over the past couple of years.
Over the years. It's not
not-
about that. It's about, at the end of the day, right? Like I've told you, yeah? Even in pre-season, I was watching him when he was in America and everything else, and he looked really good.
Yeah,
he
he
looked
looks all right.
sharp. He looked
He looks all
right.
right.
And then obviously he then
Should have kept
came
his
out.
hair blonde.
Well, but he came out of the squad for obvious reasons because of the whole attack and everything else. That's fine. And then since then, it's as though
Something's happened, didn't it?
yes, something is not right. Because, like I said, in pre-season, you were in America, we were in Barcelona and all these other places in France and everything for the pre-season. So we saw a fresh-looking Mesut Ozil, a really good-looking player that we thought, you know what, maybe we'll get a good year out of him this year. And
Would you put him in instead of Ceballos?
the thing is, you know what, not to start the game.
Would you put him in just
Well,
so
I've just
answer
answered your
yes
question.
or no?
No, wait, I've just said not to start the game. I really
Okay.
like the look of Ceballos.
Would you
and what
put
he
him
does.
in ahead of Willock?
No,
Would you put him in ahead of Torreira?
no, two different positions.
There you go. That's three
Two different-
midfielders.
Yeah, but you're
you
saying
just said
three.
you ain't-
No, but you're saying three midfielders.
Would you put him in ahead of Guendouzi?
No, completely different
That's
positions.
four. Four
Again,
midfielders there,
Robbie,
right, that you've just named out you wouldn't put him in ahead of.
Robbie, what
so
you
why
do-
does he need to
no,
be in
but
the
hold
squad
on a
for?
minute. Why are you naming midfielders that don't even play in this position? Of course he's not going to take Torreira's place or Guendouzi's place.
Torreira's been playing as number 10.
Yeah? How well's that worked out?
But you just said you wouldn't put him in ahead of him.
No, in his natural position. Of course you won't. But if you're turning around and saying to me, Mesut Ozil or Lucas Torreira in a 10, Mesut Ozil.
If he's got the ball.
So that's what
If
I'm
he
saying.
ain't got it, I'd rather Torreira.
Ringing up names, man, that don't even play in the same position. Behave
No, but
yourself,
I'm bringing
man.
up midfielders.
Nah,
All right,
yeah.
Willock then. Willock's has been playing
Willock's
at number
been
10.
brilliant. Willock's been... Joe
Would you
Willock,
play him
listen,
ahead of
Joe,
Willock?
No, I've already said no. And
Right,
I've
would
already
you
said...
play him and you wouldn't
Joe
play him-
Willock,
hold on.
Wait.
You
Joe
wouldn't play him
Willock,
ahead of Ceballos?
Joe Willock should be in the starting 11.
Right, and you wouldn't play him ahead of Ceballos either.
No.
So if you're picking your squad for Sunday...
there's two.
Wait a minute. You're picking your squad for Sunday's game against Bournemouth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Number 10, you're looking at players that can play in that number 10 position. You've already got two there.
Yeah.
Why would you need Ozil in the squad for?
Because you still need him.
No, you've got two
No.
players in that so your number 10, you've just said would be Willock, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You think he should start the game. So Willock would be your number 10. And then your next in line, you said is Ceballos. So
No,
Ceballos is...
wait,
Hold on, wait a
wait.
minute. Let me finish.
Ceballos is not
Let
a
me
10.
finish. Right? So Ceballos will be the next guy you bring off of the bench that could fill that number 10 position.
But he's not a 10.
So then there's... Well, what was the position?
He's not. He's an 8. He's a
play-
box. He's a box to box.
Yeah, but
he's
he can
predominantly. He can play there, but he's predominantly a box to
Yeah, but
box
so is
number
Willock.
8.
Willock is like a box to box.
Listen, Joe Willock has.
Willock is a box to box as
Joe
well.
Willock has changed his whole entire game, and he is
Box to
one
box.
of the most impressive players that I've seen this season.
Box to
Every
box.
time, and he scores. The reason why? No, listen
Box
to me.
to box
listen to
midfielder.
me. Listen to me. Listen to me. Right. The way Joe Willock is playing, he's playing in that 10 area, and he's got the drive and the surge. Right, I've said that. Ceballos is more of an 8. He
But
said himself
where's
would
been-
rather play.
Where's he been playing mainly? When he's come
He's
on?
been playing both.
He
He has been playing both.
You yourself has just
He's
said.
been playing
listen,
both. He's
it's
been playing both.
Two players, but when they come on, are going to be playing in that more or less in that number 10 position.
He's
right?
been playing both.
More or less, yeah. So you don't need Ozil in the squad then.
Of course you do. You still need him there.
Why? You've got
Because you still
start
might-
off with
because
listen.
you
just
still
let me
might
just
need
finish.
to open the door.
You just started off with Willock there, and then you're saying, right, my next guy in line, Ceballos. Right, so if Willock's not working, you bring Ceballos on in that position. Why do you need Ozil in the squad? Then you're better off having
I'll tell you why.
some other
Because
midfielders
even
that can
with
fill
Joe
the other
Willock,
positions.
because even with Joe Willock and with Danny Ceballos, are we still lighting up the Premier League? Are we still creating loads of chances? Are we still cutting teams to pieces? No.
Who says when's the last time he cut
I'm
anyone
not
to
saying
pieces?
that he's the answer. I'm saying you can't just leave him out of the squad, though.
There's only a certain amount of people you can have in the squad, and then you got to make sure you got backup defenders. You got to have a backup right back, left back. You got to have backup centre back. You got to have a.
Wait, hold on a
You got to
minute.
have a
Why do you
backup for
need
the
to?
wings.
Why? Hold on.
You got to have a player that can play in the wings.
No. Why do you need a backup right back, left back, centre back? What is this?
No, you need
A
backup
B
defenders.
team? No, you don't.
need a backup defender.
No, you need two.
Of course you do.
You need two on the bench. You have two on the bench, and you've got versatility within there. The chances of your right back, your left back getting injured in a game is not common. It doesn't happen all the time. So you don't load up your bench with right backs, left backs, centre backs.
You need a few defenders on your bench.
Two.
Right?
You need two. You have 7 subs. One's a goalkeeper, 6 outfield players. 2 of those, have to be defenders.
All right,
yeah? Then you've got 4 attack-minded players. Because where's the most crucial place where you're going to make the changes predominantly? Apart from there being an injury, where are you going to make your changes?
All right, so you've got two defenders.
Yeah.
Right, as backup. You've got your goalkeeper 3.
Yeah.
Then 4.
That leaves 4 more.
4 more, right? And you've got to have backups for the wings and your strikers.
Why do you have to have backups for the wings when you've got players that are versatile and they can switch around?
Yeah, but that's again, because Ozil go out onto the wing?
No, I'm not
and
saying
do anything?
Ozil go out on the wing. I'm not
he's
saying,
not versatile to do that.
Who's saying Ozil go out on the wing?
Again, that's why when you're looking at your bench, you want people on there that's going to be versatile.
No. Who's saying that they can go out on the wing? No one's talking about that.
You can't put him as a striker. You can see why I'd leave him out sometimes.
No, sorry. No, we could be here all day, man. This is
we
like
could
our
be. I
own
want to ask
podcast
people,
on
you
our
know
own.
what, comment on this. I really want to get people's comments on this because it is dividing opinion at the moment. There are a lot of other fans, just like DT, who are saying, come on, man, he should be at least minimum in the squad. He deserves to, and then there's a lot of other fans, I have to say, a lot of other fans are saying about time that we've done this to Ozil. You know what I mean? He's been, nicking a bit of a living over the past season or so.
That annoys me as well because it's not him that put himself on 350 grand a week. Yeah? If you're in your job, right, all these people that sit there and moan about his wage, if your manager comes up to you today in your job and says, you know what, I'm going to give you a pay rise, you're going to go, I don't think I deserve that. Nah, you're all right, mate. Of course you ain't. Behave yourself, man. Fools. You ain't, are you?
I would.
No chance.
for the goods. For the good of the team.
Don't get me started, yeah, because I'll be talking about you giving me a pay rise, and everyone will be like, he gets paid. Yeah. Look, Brendan's like, he wants a pay rise. You offer him a pay rise and turn around and see if Brendan's going to go, you know what, I don't think I deserve that. Tao deserves more than me. I think you should give him the X amount a week. Of course he ain't. He's going to be like, yo, Don Robbie, give me that stuff. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what, both of you might end up like Ozil. Carry on.
Yeah, carry on. You know what I mean? Says the guy that's getting his car wrapped now and everything else. Look at this guy out here, Don Robbie. You know what I mean? Man's turning up with LV bags and everything. You know what I mean?
You both might end up like Ozil. You carry on.
Yeah, right? We'll see.
Now, look, the absolute contrast to Monday's game against Manchester United, right, where,
crap.
Boring game, but we got a 1-1 point. Aubameyang again, saving us.
Again.
What would we do without this guy? I cannot believe that there were some fans last season saying things like, he don't work hard enough.
He needs to go.
He's not the top quality. I was like,
Listen,
what are you talking about?
Behave yourself,
this guy is a world-class striker. And by the way, did you see Aubameyang? I loved what he said about the response to
my striker,
the main guy at Borussia Dortmund, who criticised Aubameyang for leaving. If you haven't seen it, he had a go at Aubameyang for leaving Borussia Dortmund. He said that he did it only for money, and he can't understand why Aubameyang's now gone to another club to play in the Europa League when he could have stayed at Dortmund and be playing at Dortmund in the Champions League. And Aubameyang's brilliant reply was basically, well, he told him Morris to go and do one and said to him that, listen, you're talking about money, but when it came to taking £100 million for Ousmane Dembele, you leapt at it, right? And you took that money and basically said, listen, don't get me started. I liked Aubameyang's reply.
And you know the one thing I will say about that reply as well, and people need to not get it twisted, Aubameyang was not criticising Borussia Dortmund.
No, he was
as a
criticising.
club
He was criticising
their fans.
Yeah.
He was criticising one person in
And
particular.
I think he's right, because it is hypocritical for that, I've forgotten his name now, but for him to be saying to Aubameyang, you've gone for the money, but yet they grabbed the money for Ousmane Dembele.
Yeah, and a lot
they
of people
grabbed the
can
money.
say-
They grabbed the money for Pulisic.
Well,
Why didn't you keep?
A lot of people can say, like, obviously you would take 100 million for Dembele, etc., etc. But
Well, then he's the same thing with
from reading
Aubameyang.
between the lines with what Oba was saying, is that you told everyone no amount of money is going to be accepted for him, and then the moment someone come in and went, well, I'll give you this much, you went, boy, I'm taking that, bye-bye. So yeah, he's a hypocrite, man. Leave Oba alone, man.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day,
and actually, you
listen,
can understand. Listen, Aubameyang had been at Dortmund for a long time.
he'd done
right?
everything he
And
could for him.
this is going to sound controversial, maybe to some people, but it's facts. As a worldwide brand, this is facts. Arsenal are a bigger club worldwide than Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah.
Look at how many followers, for instance, Aubameyang has on Insta and stuff like that since he's come and joined Arsenal. You know what I mean? It's literally tripled. Arsenal are a bigger worldwide brand than Borussia Dortmund, and I respect Borussia Dortmund. I've been there several times. I've been on the yellow wall. I think they've got the most amazing fans in the world, probably. Their fan base in Germany is incredible. They've got a big worldwide fan base. They've got a fantastic support. But as a club,
They're not as big as Arsenal.
standing in the world, more people know Arsenal than Borussia Dortmund, and it's not, whether they're in the Champions League more than us or not.
And at the end
I'm
of the
sorry,
day,
and
listen,
obviously Aubameyang's coming to Arsenal thinking that, you know what, I think that club will be back in the Champions League very soon. Because remember, as well, apart from the last couple years, Arsenal always in the Champions League.
I know.
So
people seem
I
to
think
forget
that was a really bad dig that he made at Aubameyang, and I loved Aubameyang's reply. But listen, it was 1-1 in that game. Well done to Aubameyang, digging us out again with a great goal. Ridiculous offside by the...
The only person that was offside in that whole move was the linesman. Honestly.
And I mean, you know, you didn't even need VAR for that. You know what I mean? You didn't need VAR for that.
That's what VAR was brought in for.
And VAR worked perfectly then. But the only time I don't like VAR is when it's like a toenail as the margin. I just think they should give the advantage to the attacker there. But in that case, where that would have been, over the years, a terrible decision, VAR done its job and got it right. The other thing I'm going to criticise, just before I move on to what I was about to say, is at United, there's no screens. Manchester United, Old Trafford, and also Anfield.
Yeah, the only two stadiums.
How can you have no screens in the whole stadium?
I'll tell you why.
Where people can even see on the board, VAR decision, no goal. Why? Anfield and Old Trafford.
I know why.
Why?
Because then they don't get caught out before VAR came along. How many of them decisions have gone Man United's way under Fergie's time?
True.
Do you know what I mean?
But how are they allowed to get... No, seriously though, how are they allowed to get away with not having a proper screen?
Everyone's got different rules. At the end of the day, we were all told 3 years ago that no away fans are going to be sat away from the pitch anymore. There's going to be a section right next to the pitch now. How many years have Newcastle still been getting away with it? And we're still stuck in the clouds.
Yep.
I hope they get relegated just so I don't have to go up them steps anymore. That's it. No problem with Newcastle.
That's probably what done my back in.
No problem with Newcastle. Love their fans. Got great respect for them. But if you're keeping us up there in the gods, relegated. Sorry, don't want to walk there again. But it's the same thing. You only have to go to Liverpool with the Carabao Cup thing. Played an illegible player. They get a 200 grand fine, 100 grand suspended. Do you know the irony of that? They go on to win the Carabao Cup. What's the prize money? 100 grand. So they'll actually pay back. Behave yourself. If that was...
There's no way they were going to throw Liverpool out, was there?
Let's put it like this. Say MK Dons won that game and an MK Dons player was illegible.
They'd have thrown him out.
All day. All day long. Sorry.
Definitely.
And I'm not just saying it because we're going to Anfield and I'm absolutely petrified. It's because, and plus it would have been lovely for us to go to MK Dons and we'd have been like, it would have been all right. We could have let kick off at 8, we'd have left at 2:45. So, but it's just the fact that you can't have one rule for one and one for another. So if you've got VAR in, surely there's a rule. Maybe they've said to Manchester United and Liverpool, right, we'll give you 2 years grace or something. You've got to have screens by this year. You know,
because it made me laugh because you know, you got some fans saying, "Oh, you know," I heard them in the radio phoning saying, "Oh, I was at the game and I didn't even know what was going on." I was like, "Well, you're not gonna because there's no screens there."
Well, I saw the referee. The thing is, what people have got to remember now, and I've started to get used to VAR now.
You see the referee put his hand on his
Yeah,
ear.
so you see him like that, but
Yeah.
then it's the next step. Now, when he just blows his whistle and sticks to the original decision, there's no signalling of a box or anything. It's just, right, carry on. The moment he turned round and went like this, everyone around us was going, "It's a goal. It's a goal." You knew because
It's brilliant, wasn't it?
Because he was basically signaling.
I must say.
And the moment he started going like this, I was like, what? And I had my son in my arms, and I was like, "You're about to get launched." And I'm like, and he's like this, "Oh yeah!" I was like, "What's it? On Lion King?" You know what I mean? Holding my boy up like this. It was like,
You know, I have to say, I have to say it was brilliant, right? Because the Man United fans, when Aubameyang scored the goal, I was right next to them.
Yeah, and they're
right?
all like,
"Yeah, you wankers, yeah, you thought it was a goal, hey." And you know they do that thing, that fake celebration.
Yeah, when they
go,
go,
"Hey!" And then you saw the referee. Right, I see the referee like, I was going, "Hang on a minute."
He's having a
Right?
check. He's having a check.
Right, so we were all sort of looking around going, "Hey," it was checking because it looked offside.
I know.
When he's just thinking, so they was checking and that, right? And then when you just saw it blow, the fans went mental.
Yeah.
And they were giving it to the United fans.
They
The
were
United fans were
hammered.
so.
They were fuming. So in that respect, that's
It was
where.
brilliant.
And do you know what the funny thing is? A lot of people say that VAR does take away that excitement, and I get what they're saying because there's the moment when Aubameyang scored the second goal against Spurs, and we were all going mad. But then there was that sense of like. Ooh, he looked a bit offside. Wait, they're going to check this, and so you're kind of reserved in your celebration. But the way that one worked out, where you're thinking, "Oh no, offside," and so you've gone from here to there, and then back up there again.
I think VAR. Listen,
It added
the
to
VAR thing. My only problem with VAR at the moment is that, as I said, that one where it's so. There was a game the other day, right, and I was glad it happened because it was Spurs, right, and they've got a lot of good calls. But I have to say, just looking at that as a fan, I felt uncomfortable with that, man. I think they played. Who did they play? Was it Leicester? I think it was Leicester, and it was absolutely marginal. I'm like, you can't give that as you got to give the advantage to me in that case to the
Was
attacker.
it an advantage to Spurs?
No, the goal got disallowed.
But who scored the goal? Was it Spurs?
Spurs scored the goal.
Oh, no, it's fine. Correct decision.
Yeah, I know, but listen.
Correct decision.
I'll just say for football in general, I think that when it's as close as that, because you don't know the exact time when the ball's left the person who's passed the ball as well. It's impossible to work that out. I think they should give that advantage to the... But in the case the other night where it's miles onside, I mean, VAR done its job.
Yeah, done its job, man.
You know?
Do you know what I mean? So it was good. I'd say it was about 7 yards onside.
It was miles
About
onside.
7,
That referee, man, it was second linesman or whatever, second ref, he was awful. Listen, the contrasting performance, though, was the Europa League.
Yeah.
The young guys come in and put in a brilliant performance. Now,
Sorry.
three players in particular stood out in that game. Kieran Tierney,
Yeah.
Joe Willock,
Yeah.
and the guy who was the star of the show,
Martinelli.
Gabriel Martinelli, who we saw in pre-season over there in America, was doing these kind of things, maybe not scoring as much, but looked a real player.
Yeah.
And that's now 4 goals in 2 games.
There was another one as well.
Yeah, and he looks...
Who else?
Who else who stood out in the game?
Serge Gnabry. Sorry, I had to get that in there, but no, listen, Martinelli, we were talking about him in pre-season. I remember, was it Real Madrid he scored in the game? And it was one of them little like flicks. It was his instinct. He's very instinctive.
Lightning quick.
He like presses so high up.
He's so strong.
Direct.
He's got that fighting sort of South American fighting spirit.
Very
and he's
very Tevez, Luis Suarez.
Yeah.
Kind of.
And technically, he's brilliant. I mean, the header, the first goal, the header was a brilliant
That's
header.
a serious header. When you look at his angle, but then also pay respects to the cross because it made
Kieran
it easy.
Tierney.
The whip, the pace, made it so easy for. I know we say easy.
Kieran Tierney for me, I've already, just in a couple of games I've seen, and I know the opposition is not as good, he has to start for me.
He has to.
He has to
His
start.
delivery. Every time.
I'm sorry, I've not seen Kolasinac do any deliveries like that since he's been here.
No. When Tierney gets in the wide position and he's about to cross, you're already excited. Because you know 9 times out of 10 he's picking someone out.
Every cross, everything he whipped in was
dangerous.
brilliant.
And
And he looks after the ball. He doesn't
could've-
give the ball
no,
away.
he could have had a hat-trick of assists.
He was
could've.
superb.
Even after that, there was... Did you see the chance that Willock missed before he scored? Where
Yeah.
he went and he tried
Yeah.
doing the little deft lob
Yeah.
over the keep. That was Tierney's ball.
Yeah.
That ball. How long have we been crying out for a fullback to put first-time crosses in? Whip, pace...
And get up and down.
Accuracy.
He gets up and down the pitch. And I noticed that later on in the game, he sort of held his position a bit more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He held his position a bit more.
He understands his position.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's a footballing brain to understand your position. And I said it to you when we watched him against Nottingham Forest. The player I can't wait to see play with him is Aubameyang. Because he thrives on them first-time balls, whipped in, and he can run onto. Because Aubameyang's one of the best at losing his marker in a box.
And you know the other thing I like about Tierney? He doesn't just always cut in like Kolasinac does.
No, he'll cut in, he'll cut out.
He'll
So
cut
you never
out,
know
he'll
what
go
he's
to
gonna
the
do.
byline, he can whip a ball. He's dangerous,
And
man.
do you know what else I like
We've
about
been
him?
missing
I
that
know.
for so
Do you know
long.
what I like about him? He's got a bit of that old Scottish temper in him.
Yeah,
You see that as well when someone
Yeah.
went for Martinelli and he went in there.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I know he doesn't understand
Glasgow
what...
boy, mate.
What
Don't miss
was it
about.
he said? I see the interview thing he was doing with Bellerin and he was saying to Bellerin, he goes, everyone calls me a roadman around here. And he goes, what's a roadman? And Bellerin's like, no, it's a compliment. You're all right. It's fine. Because he wears black tracksuits all the time and he just likes chilling out. That's him. But he's a Scottish boy. Do you know what I mean? And he looks just like an old-fashioned defender. He's just, and even in that interview that he did with Bellerin, he was talking about, one of the questions was, would you rather score a match-winning goal or a match-winning tackle? And Bellerin said like a match-winning tackle, and Tierney was just like, I just want to tackle anyone. Don't have to be match-winning. I just want to win the ball. Just tackle. We've been missing someone like that. And he just knows when to go, when to stay.
Got to start. I get the
has to.
feeling he might not start. I get the feeling that
I think we
Kolasinac
might have
will
to wait till
start
after the international
after
break.
the international break, but I would love to see him start. He looks the part, man. I'm so excited.
And do you know the thing
about Kieran
do you know what I
Tierney.
think so good about him is that I feel he's gonna he will naturally raise the levels of Hector Bellerin.
Yeah.
Because Hector's looking on that side and going, you know what, this guy's creating 3-4 chances a game. I now need to do the same,
Yeah.
because if I don't, people are going to go, well, Tierney's on that side creating all these chances, but Hector's not doing anything.
Yeah, I think he's ready to go in right now. Hector's probably still a little bit maybe
behind.
after the international break he might be.
listen,
but then Chambers has been playing brilliantly.
Yeah.
I thought Chambers was excellent.
He was
against,
excellent and
against Manchester United.
The thing about Bellerin, I didn't think he'd play 90 minutes against Liège. I thought he would play 75. And when the substitution was made for Pepe coming on, I actually thought he was going to put Maitland-Niles back into right back and take Bellerin off. 70 odd minutes done. Well done. Let's go. Next game. So for him to get 90 minutes in the tank,
and he did 90 minutes at under 23s.
Yeah, but I mean, 90 minutes at a competitive level.
Yeah,
It
and
was
Holding
so
was
good.
in there as well.
Holding again.
Again, another 90. Is it time for him to come back in?
Go and look at the second goal. This is the thing that a lot of people don't watch within football. They just see the goal, the end product, that piece of it. Go and look at our second goal. It started out with a ball being played from the back. Martinez played it to who? Rob Holding. What did he do? Took the ball, turned, broke the lines, played it into the midfield area where Ceballos was immediately able to turn and run at their back lines. What have I been sitting there saying to you? Rob Holding brings that the others don't. And that's a player that can bring the ball at, like under pressure or, you know, wherever the situation is on the edge of his box and turn around and not go, what do I do? I'll play it just to the side of me, back to the keeper. No progressiveness. There's nothing there. He will break lines and he will put balls into areas where the midfield can automatically go, right, attack. Start from the back to the front. And that's what Rob Holding does. Go look at our second goal again, and it starts from him on the edge of his box, straight first time ball, split the lines, Ceballos, he's already running, playing the ball in the channels.
Martinelli, again, is another player that surely has to be in with a shout. I mean, Saka,
has to
you
be.
can't drop Saka. He's been played really well.
But Martinelli's knocking on the door.
Against Manchester United. But Martinelli,
He's knocking on the door.
I mean, he's got goals as well.
Yeah,
That's
4
very
in 2.
important, right?
4 in 2.
And they've been excellent goals. I mean, the header, the second goal, his feet, the way he just got that out of his... I mean, this guy came from the Brazilian 4th division. Who scouted this guy? I mean, he's,
I tell you who scouted
the
him
funny
first.
thing is he had trials, didn't he, at Manchester United?
You just took it.
Yeah.
This is like Ronaldo reverse.
Yeah.
It's like, so yeah, they kind of scouted him for us.
trials
but
at Manchester United.
Listen, at the end of
twice,
the-
I think they had him and then they called him back again, but they decided not to take him on. And
Cheers, lads.
Arsenal
Thanks for that.
have 18.
Yeah. Listen,
I mean, some
I'm
of these
glad
people-
Manchester United have done that.
I'm so excited about these young
I'm
players. You know what I
so
mean? They're
happy that they've done that.
The age profile of these players. You
We've
know
got
what I mean?
very young profile.
Saka, 18. Joe Willock, 20. You know?
Reece Nelson.
Reece Nelson.
I've got to send. You know what?
he 19?
Big shout out to him as well, because he's been coming under
Played
a bit.
well.
He's been coming under a lot of criticism
Yeah.
lately. And what I will say about Reece Nelson, right, and this is the thing that annoys me, and I know people will sit there and say that I criticise players, this, that, the other, but I still give players the chance. I still, people have said to my detriment that I stick up too much for Granit Xhaka, for example, yeah? So I do stick up for players, and there are players that do frustrate the life out of me, and I will say how I feel. But I feel there's too many people that have been so critical of Reece over recent weeks, right?
Why?
And he's still learning, and he's still
He's a young player, but
give him his time.
He played
Give him
very,
his time.
very well.
He
and
played
I think
really well.
Yeah,
really
and-
well. And he looks like he's getting a little bit of his confidence back.
all of these young players we've seen it already. Every single one of them are talented, so talented.
Yeah.
They all have to add consistency to their game.
Yeah, that's
right.
it.
That's if you're going to stay, in the. But
At
I
the
think
top.
they're going to. The good thing about it is the one good thing about the Europa League and also the League Cup is that it gives them opportunities to shine. Right, like last night, so that you can see a Martinelli. If we were in the Europa League, we wouldn't see what he can do.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't be saying,
Well, we're saying now he's knocking on the door. He has to be.
definitely knocking on the door.
A few people were actually going mad that he didn't come on that left-hand side in the
Yeah.
last 15 minutes against Manchester United.
I thought he should have done.
Why play Joe Willock out there? As good as Joe Willock is, he's not a left-sided player.
Plus, the guy he's scoring. To me, somebody scored 2 goals the previous game. I think he's got to be in there. I mean, you got to try and he has to be.
His moment.
Has to be on the bench on Sunday.
Oh,
against
do you know
Bournemouth.
what? He has been pretty much on the bench for most of our games, but he just hasn't got.
I think we
in.
get. If we need goals, we've got to get him on. And leading me nicely onto that. That's a big game. Bournemouth, they've been playing really well this season.
Yeah.
They have been playing really, really well. They are going to come and pose a serious threat. Callum Wilson's been scoring goals. Josh King. They got a very good team. And we know that Eddie Howe won't be frightened when he comes to the Emirates, even though they've got a terrible record at the Emirates. I don't think they've won there before.
No.
But they'll be on the front foot and they'll be looking to attack. They'll look what Villa did. Where Villa came and they were really positive.
Yeah.
They looked what Tottenham did, where Tottenham came and they were very positive and they got joy. And I don't think the manager can afford to
Get it wrong.
This sort of overthinking it. And we got to be on the front foot because
Pragmatic.
if we're pragmatic against Bournemouth, they will take the game to us. They are a good side. This is a big game. We need to win this.
Yeah, we need to.
We need to win this game, even this early in the season. We need to get the momentum going. Yes, the Europa League games, League Cup games have kind of masked the kind of poor performances in the league. Even though we've seen some great fight backs and things like that, but we're yet to put in a performance in the league like what we've seen in the Europa League or we've seen in the League Cup.
Do you know what's mad? Is that the only times I've seen us in the league actually play to our capabilities was the second half against Spurs, second half against Aston Villa. Why can't we play like that all the time and be that open? Not when we're trying to chase the game and we need goals.
Yeah, I'd love
Play
to
like
see
that.
Arsenal on Sunday against Bournemouth put in a performance where you're like,
Wow. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
And you know
yes.
the ironic thing as well, we're moaning and we might sound like sport brats at times, but we're sitting 4th in the league. We've only lost one of our first 6 Premier League games, and that was away at Anfield, which is no shame. And we're above Manchester United, we're above Chelsea, we're above Spurs. And if you would have told us at the start of the season, going into the second international break, you would be in that position, I think we'd have all took your hands off.
yeah. But I
it's
think what
just
it is,
the way we're playing.
Yeah, performances.
Because how are we going to keep getting away with that? We're not going to
Yeah.
keep turning around 2-0 deficits like Aston Villa, or 2-1 deficits, sorry, 1-0 and then 2-1, 2-0 against Spurs. We're not going to keep having Aubameyang bail us out all the time, you know, and we've got to actually start playing. And I suppose a lot of people are holding on to the whole idea that Tierney's coming in, Bellerin's coming in, Rob Holding's back.
Well, I'll tell you what, after the international break looks exciting.
It does look exciting.
Because Lacazette's to come back as well.
I tell you what I look at. The one thing that I look at and I hold, despite Unai Emery frustrating the life out of me at the moment, and he's being so over pragmatic and everything else, I look at his first part when he first came to Arsenal, and we had a 22-game unbeaten run. Everything was rosy. We were playing great football. You think of the performances against Leicester in there, where we tore them apart, and everything was just so good. We dug out performances. We were dogged. We were fluid. All these kind of things. And part of those, you know, key elements of the 22 games was Rob Holding was playing, Hector Bellerin was playing. So you put those two back in the side now, along with Kieran Tierney, and some people are holding on to that thought of...
And Lacazette to come back.
But I know he was there at the time. But what I'm saying is that people are holding on to that maybe that's what Emery's waiting for, that he just genuinely has had shit to play with. Because Ainsley Maitland-Niles, it's just... He's not a right back. Someone said it. He looks like he smokes weed. Because he's just the most... He's got one expression. He don't ever change his expression. It's like,
he's very
and he looks
laid back.
so laid back. Do you know what I mean? But we already know now he's not what we need, that answer over a long-term period in a right-back position.
And I think Chambers now has established himself as the backup
He's playing
right back.
really well. Really well. I think the year at Fulham's obviously done him good, playing a year in the Premier League. Fulham's Player of the Year. And it's obviously matured him as a player. So, coming back from the international break, you know, Emery's got to go and do the business now, because once those players are all available, there's literally nowhere to turn if it goes wrong. Nowhere. So I want us to see us come out and play a good game of football against Fulham. Be positive, be on the front foot.
Fulham.
Attack Fulham, because I was mentioning Callum Chambers. Bournemouth, sorry, because I was mentioning Callum Chambers. And also for me, what I would really like to see this weekend is Aubameyang score his 50th goal for the club, because he's on 49 at the moment. And being at the Emirates, you know, Ian Wright scored historical goals at Highbury that meant something. Thierry Henry. You think of all the historical goals, even though he got his record-breaking goal away from home in Prague. So that would be a nice moment if Aubameyang could do that and get that little milestone. Yeah. And maybe top it off with a new celebration. Maybe a new mask. Bring out the Spider-Man one again, or maybe something different.
Leave the mask till the end of the season, man. Let me win something first.
Or Aubameyang could do my celebration.
What's that?
In my recent episode of Blood Brothers,
man.
where I pulled my trousers down and showed my ass. Aubameyang liked it on Insta. So maybe
I didn't like
maybe Aubameyang's going to go running down the wing, go up to the corner, pull his trousers down, slap his ass, and that's a message to the Dortmund guy.
That was a horrible video.
Hey, listen, my back is fit. Don't worry about that.
I'll leave that to other people to judge. Go and watch the video. Go and watch the video, and you can let him know. Yeah, but I'm not getting involved. Listen, thanks for listening, and thanks for watching the show today. If you're watching it on YouTube, right? Don't forget to check out the 888 Sport video. Give your opinion on whether you think that in the FA Cup that deserves a place in the Champions League. The video link will be in the description. Listen, you can download the podcast on all of the normal formats, so make sure you check that out. And for everybody who's been supporting this show, we got some. You know what? Actually, we've got a few guests coming on here soon to the All Guns Blazing podcast. So look out for that. We're going to have a couple of really good guests coming on. And let's hope we can get a big win against Bournemouth. Go into that international break. Come back with everybody fit. It's been a long time since we've had a fit squad.
And you.
And me as well, yeah.
Can you come back?
Because you know what? You look at these teams like, like Liverpool last season. Literally the whole season they had everybody fit. Yeah. And it makes a huge difference. And I'd love to see Arsenal with, like you said, Bellerin, Tierney, fit, going week in, week out. Lacazette back in there. Lacazette, Aubameyang, and, Pepe. You know what I mean? And then, will there be a place for Ozil? Who knows? Only time's going to tell. But thanks for watching the show, and we'll be back next week.